Everybody, today we're going to be in the F15C and we're going to be dogfighting the SC27SM. Now, in the game, of course, the SC27SM is kind of underperforming, as in I played this jet many times before, and the SC27 is not that good of a turn fighter, even though it should be. So we're allowing him to have Fox 2s in this dogfight to actually give him a fighting chance, because F15 will walk all over him. So in the beginning of this fight, I took the merge into a vertical fight. However, he does not follow and he dives down actually. And the S27 does not perform well at low speeds, so I would have to take this fight into a low speed dogfight and basically just stay out of bore sight for his Fox 2s. So now I'm on his 6 right now. I could get an aim-9M shot. However, I do not feel like the aim-9M is a good way to get kills anymore. I mean, it's so easy. The defendant can't really get any, way to defend against the missile because they can't even see it, and it's pretty much unbearable for anyone who's going against, NATO right now. So I pop up a few shots, maybe to try and get lucky. However, they do not connect. And now I'm on a 6, and he's turning this into a right fight. And I'm going to start pulling lead. That way I can get some rounds off and maybe get score kill. And I fire, and turns out he just breaks off to the left. So I do follow him, and after this turn here, he's going to reverse it. And I try to put my nose up for this reversal to maybe even try to get a hit on him. That way I can, cripple his jet to make it less maneuverable. And I do miss the shots, so I do have to pull around. And right now we are very slow. Both of us are very slow, and this is what ideally the F15 wants from the S27. And this is where we get our first kill of round 1, and we'll see each other in round 2. Now into the start of round 2. So we're gonna, in this round we are going to, after this merge, of course, we're going to pull this into a rate fight. And the F15, it can rate pretty well. The thrust to weight ratio of this jet is honestly phenomenal, and it could really keep up with almost anything. So we're pulling lead to get some lucky shots off, and nothing ended up connecting, and this is where I do bleed out energy. So I can get an aim-9M shot off if I really wanted to, and I do think about it, but I decide not to. So I just keep chasing him, and this is going to be a more drawn out fight because he does just use his time to extend. I could use the aim-9M, however I don't feel like it's a good way to fight, as I stated before. So we're gonna keep raiding. My pilot's about to black out here because I keep my speed while also pulling a lot of G's, which is something that the pilot really can't take, because I don't have an expert crew, because I barely played the F15C, and I haven't really played NATO as much because NATO is just so overpowered right now that I really don't want to play it as much. It doesn't provide any reward system because you're just firing off your missiles with no skill, and most people don't want to dogfight anymore. So I lock him up on radar, maybe get some gun rounds off, and I do miss. And he does keep turning here, and honestly I don't know how he's already on my 6. The S27 turn circle is really amazing. So we're gonna pre-flare here because he fires off a Fox 2. And the one thing about the S27 is that if it gets a Fox 2 off, you're most likely going to die. It's so hard to flare these missiles, and that's what really helps the S27 in dogfights. If it didn't have this, it would really be hard for the S27 to get any kills. So we're pulling in here. We're both in a very slow, basically at stall speeds here, and I am pulling around just enough to get to my ideal angle for me to fire my old gun. And I'm pulling, I get a lock, that way I can get the gun targeting lead indicator. I'm firing rounds and he gets a Fox 2 off, and then it just somehow tracks. Yeah, those flankers are surely deadly. Now it's round 3, so we go into the merge here, and I go back to the same right fight as I usually do. However, he dives down, and later he decides to pull up to convert his speed into energy. So we're going to pull in here, and we're going to just follow him and make sure that, you know, he can't get a Fox 2 off, because R73s, they might not have as much range as the A9M, but they surely can catch up to you really fast. So I fire. I don't know what I'm firing at here, but I'm just firing, and I'm pulling as hard as I can, which is very bad because I'm losing a lot of energy and speed. I have him locked on radar, and he decides to extend away since he has the, you know, speed to just run away as far as he can. I'm not gonna catch up to him for a while, but I will end up catching up to him if I really wanted to, and he just kept running. So he decides to keep extending, and I lock him on radar, and just to make sure he knows that we still have Fox 2s, I fire off a Fox 2, and here is where we might get a splash, but guess what, somehow it just doesn't track. So we're pulling in for him, and we're pulling lead. We try to, you know, keep up with this turn, and I just can't because my pilot just G's out, blacks out all the time. So we're gonna keep raiding with him, and we might get a shot. I try to pull lead for another shot, and I do get the shot here because he is slow, and that's a crit, and that'll be the end of round 3. Yeah, I mean, you can't really let the flanker get slow, or else you're not gonna be able to do much in it. Into round 4, our shortest round, and this just shows that the R73 just was like, fuck you, I'm tired of losing, and decides to actually beef up. So we take this merge into a 2-circle fight. Yellow extends away, you know, he takes his slow turn, that way he doesn't shit out all the speed. So he extends for a good bit, and you see that his aircraft is completely perpendicular to mine, and he's above mine, and somehow there's an R73 and it just slams me in the face, and it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, those R73s are really just deadly. So we get a really close merge here, and I take this vertical into a vertical spiral fight. Now, as we're pulling, I decide to, you know, ease off of the hard pulling G's. We start to pre-flare because I know he could get an R73 off, and, you know, I just start to dive on him because I can just do that because, you know, he turns in front of me for some reason. I'm guessing he lost visual on me because the SC-27 does not have that good of a sight. So I fire off a Fox 2 here and expecting it not to track, and somehow it does, making this our second shortest round. So yeah, good round.
Over G, altitude, pull up, over G,
Now into round 6. There's only a lot of rounds in this video because these games usually last so short. So we're gonna take this fight into a vertical spiral fight. He decides to follow this fight. I'm guessing that he decides to switch it up. Maybe he's been extending too far out. So I know he can get an R73 off, and he does. So I'm pre-flaring, of course. He crosses the nose here, and he's relatively slow, and the SC-27 is not gonna like that. So we're gonna pull around here, and we're going to just our nose is above him, but we're just gonna shove that thing down as soon as he gets below us, and we get a crit on him. Somehow he's still able to fly that thing with only one engine, and he's just basically floating right now, and that's only because that SC-27 creates a lot of lift, and with that so much lift, of course he's going to still be in the air even with some damage. So since he has only one engine, it's gonna be hard for him to control it. And we're gonna pop off some shots here, and I do end up getting another hit, and we do take his wingtip off, and that will be the end of round 6, I think. I don't know, I kind of lost count.
AOA. AOA. Critical speed. AOA.
Now into the last round, the most important round. Well, not really. I mean, the F-15 kind of shits on the SC-27. Not like he's a bad player or anything. Like, the F-15 is such a better aircraft in almost every single way compared to the SC-27, other than the Fox 2 capabilities. But, I mean, then again, Gaijin did make it underperform for some reason. But that's probably changed when we get the SU-35 in the game. So we do pull around and get our nose onto the S-27, and he fires a Fox 2 and it does not track. I fire out some rounds thinking that they might connect, but he doesn't connect. He reverses the turn even though he's going so fast, meaning that I will be on a 6 almost instantly. And we pull in and I take lead to maybe get some shots off, and I just stop because I don't want to lose too much speed, because if he has more speed than me, he could still theoretically shit on me, because it doesn't matter how good of a rate fighter your aircraft is. If you don't have enough energy to rate fight, you're not going to win that fight. So I'm trying to pull while keeping the little bit of energy that I have, and I'm slowly gaining onto his tail, and you know, he starts to level out and extend away. So of course I'm gonna lock my 9M and just think about, should I do it and will it even, you know, hit? And I do get distracted by this beautiful cockpit because, you know, the F-15 does have a really extravagant cockpit, if you know what I'm saying. It's really good, it looks perfect. But then I do get back on track, and I think I fire a 9M off here. Don't really know. I think I'm watching this recording after like a week after I made it. So we fire off some rounds, hoping I get a lucky shot off, because, you know, I gotta get used to this gun too. I might make a video on this once the, you know, AMRAM gets nerfed and, you know, the game gets a little more balanced. So we're going to keep pulling into his 6, and hopefully I can get enough lead to where I can get a hit. And I do pull enough lead, but I just miss the shots. And as we're in this rate fight, I like to say that soon I did order a few parts for my PC, and I might get you know, better quality upgrade of my, you know, videos. So you guys should stay tuned for that. I will be posting better videos, hopefully, depending on if it works or not. So yeah, just stay tuned for that, and I promise that I can make better videos and more videos at a time. So as we pull in and we are still trying to just maintain speed while also blacking the fuck out because our pilot's a bitch, we're going to try and get a shot off here and pull more lead and decrease more speed. And here's when we are actually able to get our lead and get the hit, well, they get the crit, and you know, he will go down, and that will be the end of the final round. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video.